how to fix a toxic relationship. But before that, what is a toxic relationship?
Well, I first of all want to be very clear that a toxic relationship is different from an abusive relationship. Very different. An abuser doesn't change.
Ooh.
You can have abusive habits and not be an abuser, but an abuser does not change. So with that being said, if you're in an abusive relationship and that person is actually an abuser, well, that's something that you want to consider. Is this the kind of relationship that you want to be in? And if not, considering other options, such as leaving.
Yeah.
Wow. Toxic relationship, then we need to look at, okay, we all have toxic habits. Every single one of us have toxic habits. And I always say that there's different levels of toxic. Right. The first level is the kind of toxic person that they point to everyone else. They don't ever want to change because they're just blaming everyone else because it's easier. We all know people like that. And those are the kind of relationships you got to set boundaries with, whether it be like a parent or a friend or a lover. You got to set boundaries.
Yes.
Even if that means taking a step back, because the reality is they're not self-reflecting and they're not willing to change. Ooh. The second level of toxic is where that person recognizes the need to change, right? But they aren't really putting in the work. So they'll be like, oh my God, I'm sorry. I'm like a monster. I did bad. I know I shouldn't do that. They're beating themselves up over it, but they don't put in the work. Level 3 is someone who recognizes the work that they need to put in and starts to do the work. You're going to mess up. You're going to struggle a lot. You're going to still have a lot of toxic habits. Level 4 is someone who's already put in the work, but we all have toxic habits still, like every single one of us, because life is hard. It's just a matter of they're further ahead on the working journey. So you would have level 3 or level 4 of, where you're at in your life. And these are just levels I've made up. Like, this is not like an official thing. It's literally what it takes is both people. A toxic relationship can't be fixed if only one person's putting in the work. That's like riding a bike with only one wheel working. You're just going to end up going in circles. It's not going to work. It does require that both people are putting in the work and recognizing where they're going wrong. And it also requires that we don't look at our partner as the enemy. That's a problem. We're looking at our partner like it's me against you. You are the problem. You are hurting me instead of this is the problem. Let's work on this together. Should I hold you accountable? What steps are you taking to hold yourself accountable? How can we work on improving this habit together? But then also showing grace.
Yes.
Because if you're like, this is a toxic habit, I need it to be solved, and you expect perfection, like you're going to be disappointed.
Yeah.
You're gonna love it. That's just not. But understanding that growth is kind of like, like a mountain where it's like you're taking steps ahead, but there's some mountain that are going to go down. Where you're going to end up messing up. You're going to do it again. You're going to be like, oh my God, I can't do this again. You're going to feel frustrated with yourself, but you're still taking steps forward. You're still working on yourself. And if it's something that keeps on happening where you're like, why do I keep on doing this? Talk to a therapist. Talk to a therapist about why you keep doing it. Maybe there's something like in your childhood that's causing you to repeat this action. Maybe it's a habit that needs to be broken. And in that case, if it's habits that need to be broken, a coach is great for that, to help just set goals and stuff like that and help you move forward. But in the end, you need to do a lot of introspection and figure out what is the cause of this? What is the root of this? So imagine, I'm going to do another visual example. Imagine it's like a seed of poison that keeps sprouting roots and spreading out into this plant. You cut off the top of the plant and it keeps sprouting up, and you cut it off again, it keeps sprouting up, and you're like, why does this keep sprouting up? Well, it's because you got to get to the root. And that's where a therapist comes in. The therapist dives down, figures out the root with you, and then it's up to you to heal. But then you're like, oh, that's the root. And that can help out the root so it no longer causes the problem.